This is a bit of a French pig. Flareon. To be fair, Jinx or another powerful fire type like Moltres or Arcanine could easily claim this spot. But Flareon is rising in usage like a superstar and brings a rare wall-breaking potential to the metagame that's hard to ignore. This is a simple but overlooked Pokémon with an insanely powerful Fire Blast, enough to place it in the top 5 hardest hitters in rentals. Alongside it, Takedown might look like a terrible move, but it comes from the highest attack stat in the tier, tied with Rhydon and Machamp, so it actually does a good work. Here's the key: epic high physical and special attack, with 2 strong moves to take advantage of both. Its high special, it also means special attacks don't wear it down easily, and while its physical defense is low, it's still bulky enough to win 1v1 against many threats. Its speed is middling, and that's what made Flareon seem bad at first. But here's the trick: Flareon's competition like Arcanine or Moltres also check Exeggutor, but both are vulnerable to paralysis on the switch. And to really use Substitute effectively, they often have to be used in the lead spot, where Exeggutor usually won't be. Flareon doesn't fear paralysis as much, because its power doesn't rely on speed. You can bring it mid-game against Exeggutor, ignore paralysis, and threaten the entire opposing team from that point forward. Countering Flareon is difficult. Sure, it can lose 1v1 against certain faster threats, but it always forces progress, whether by damaging something heavily or by acting as a paralysis sponge. Omastar is probably the best answer, resisting both Fire Blast and Takedown. But don't underestimate Flareon's power. Even resisted Fire Blasts can dent Slowbro or any rock type that tries to stop it. Building teams with Flareon is easy, because many teams lack good ways to deal with Exeggutor while also making offensive progress. Some teams greatly benefit from Flareon, like Articuno builds that want to lure and weaken water types, or Starmie builds that invite grass types, giving Flareon a free switch. Flareon, while not quite on the level of some other Pokémon, brings unexpected offense to the table. It can be held back by imperfect move accuracy, but in tight battles, Flareon can be your only reliable way to break through and force progress. Rhyhorn is always a needed answer to electric types, and it can also work surprisingly well as a physical attacker with paralysis support. It's often chosen over Graveler for its better coverage, which really helps in a dangerous metagame full of threats. Comparing Rhyhorn and Graveler is necessary, since they fill a very similar role, but what really differentiates them is their move pool. Both have access to Earthquake, but Rhyhorn gets a valuable Rock Slide, which is crucial to punish free switches from Articuno that could otherwise tear through your team. On top of that, Rhyhorn has Fire Blast to punish the grass types that often show up to counter Earthquake, and Body Slam gives it a way to spread paralysis by itself. Overall, a really solid move pool. Rhyhorn's stats, despite not being fully evolved, are very well suited to its role. It has great physical bulk and solid attack, but that comes at the cost of having a completely exposed special stat. Also, it's the slowest Pokémon in the metagame, so you will need paralysis support or careful play to make it work an effective way. The best way to counter this defensive monster is to target its weak special stat. Any grass or water type move will absolutely destroy it thanks to its 4 times weaknesses. Even resisted but powerful moves like Fire Blast will then this thing to a no recovery point. When it comes to team building, you usually want to pair Rhyhorn with Parafan strategies. But most of the time, Rhyhorn will simply be added to teams that want to be strong against Jolteon, or need a source of physical damage against threats like Gengar or Chansey. Be careful, even though Rhyhorn resists all of Chansey's standard moves, Fire Blast is still a threat due to the burn chance, which can completely ruin Rhyhorns. Rhyhorn is a simple yet effective Pokémon. It has coverage for everything, a great move pool, and a perfectly fulfills its main purpose. Electrics won't pass. That said, compared to other Pokémon in this list, Rhyhorn can sometimes feel like dead weight, depending on the matchup, especially against well-prepared teams. Starmie seems to be half-nerfed through hell in the Rentals format, but this Pokémon still has a true purpose. It acts as a water type that beats other water types, or even a pseudo-electric type with water coverage. What makes Starmie stand out is its rare roll compression. It can perform defensive duties against certain threats, while also functioning as a sweeper in specific matchups. Basically, you run Surf for consistent and solid damage and Thunder for great coverage against other water types. This set gets completely walled by grass types, giving Pokémon like Exeggutor a free switching. But beware, repeated Surfs, especially critical hits, can wear down Exeggutor over time, especially if your team is well prepared to pressure it. Any cheap damage on Exeggutor matters in the endgame. Starmie is a fast and consistent source of damage, only 1 point slower than Persian. That means it outspeeds Gengar and Kadabra, which makes the opponent think twice before letting those Pokémon drop too low. The 18% crit chance is always there. Its bulk isn't great, but it's decent. It's not paper thin and can survive a few hits, making it harder to remove than expected. Countering Starmie though is fairly straightforward. Bring your favorite grass type or just Chansey to wall it. However, keep in mind that many grass types that wall Starmie, like Tangela, are easily punished by other threats. So you always need to be aware of what Starmie is supporting or enable behind the scenes. Building around Starmie is easy. It fits well into most teams, whenever by boosting speed or providing useful resistances to Psychic, Ice, Water and Fire types. It pairs especially well with Articuno, forming a deadly combo, but honestly, it complements any team needing a Water type with defensive flexibility. Also, Water types like Starmie are among the best answers to Articuno, but beware, free chance is always there, and if Starmie is your only Articuno answer and gets frozen on the switch, good game. Overall, Starmie is a very interesting Pokémon that brings speed, coverage, and key resistances to the table. It fits both offensive and defensive teams, but it also invites Exeggutor in for free, which might result in team-wide paralysis if you are not prepared, so use it wisely. Exeggutor might seem awkward at first glance, due to its rare move pool, but it's an exceptionally effective utility Pokémon. It is the best paralysis spreader in the metagame and one of the few viable grass types, making it crucial for checking key threats. Its unique typing and stat distribution allows it to act as a counter to both water, ground and psychic types Pokémon, a rare and valuable trait in this format. In the move section is where Exeggutor gets interesting. Its signature move is Stun Spore, which allows it to cripple the speed trinity of Persian, Kadabra and Jolteon, Pokémon that heavily rely on their speed to function. Its stab, Mega Drain, offers consistent recovery while pressuring water and ground types, giving it sustain in prolonged matches. But the wild card in Exeggutor's set is Egg Bomb. While infamous for its low accuracy, it provides crucial physical damage against special walls like Chansey and Kadabra, letting Exeggutor break through traditional or cripple common cores. Just be careful, Kadabra's counter can be a brutal surprise. The biggest weakness of Exeggutor's moveset is the inconsistent accuracy, which can cause it to miss key opportunities in tight matchups. Despite nerfs in the rental format, Exeggutor still boasts fantastic stats, especially in special and HP, giving it a tank-like presence. It has solid offensive potential as well, making it a rare mix of bulk and pressure. Its only major flaw is its low speed, making this largely mitigated by the ability to paralyze faster threats. And it still outspeeds important targets like the ground types, which it threatens. Countering Exeggutor isn't easy, but there are options. Substitute users with strong super effective moves like Articuno or Moltres can force it out, though even they must be cautious, as they can't switch in freely. A more reliable approach is to prepare for it in advance. Teams should include a paralysis absorber, such as Flareon, which resists Mega Drain and threatens Exeggutor back with not caring much about being paralyzed. Team building around Exeggutor is part of what makes it so strong. Its defensive role compression is unmatched. It checks water types, spreads status, pressures psychics, and even threatens walls. It pairs well with bulky waters like Slowbro, forming a defensive backbone, and with ground types like Graveler that can cover from Jolteon's coverage. However, relying too heavily on Exeggutor to patch every hole in a team is risky. It can easily become overwhelmed if expected to handle too much on its own. Overall, Exeggutor is a fantastic defensive and utility Pokémon, boasting unique typing, solid stats, and a disruptive move pool. It used to be considered essential on every team, but its usage has slightly declined due to the unreliable accuracy of some of the key moves. Still, in the right hands, it remains one of the most valuable tools for controlling the pace of the match and shutting down common offensive threats. Jolteon is one of the fastest Pokémon available in Pokécup rentals. This, combined with high special stat and solid offensive typing, allows it to pressure opposing sweepers and constantly threaten critical hits. It's a simple yet highly effective Pokémon, only truly held back by ground types that can wall it completely. Thunderbolt is Jolteon's bread and butter, a reliable stab move that, paired with a 20% crit chance in Stadium, makes Jolteon a real menace when left unchecked. Pin Missile is a clutch coverage move that lets it punish Exeggutor, the dominant grass type in the format. Options like Toxic or Sun Attack can be used in desperation to annoy rock ground types, but it's generally better to have another team member handle those matchups. Jolteon's stats are excellent. Its speed is elite, only surpassed by Electrode and matched by Aerodactyl, giving it an edge against most of the format. Its special stat allows it to hit hard and tank a few hits in the special side, while its physical defense, although not great, is enough to avoid being completely paper-thin like Kadabra. Ironically, despite being one of the most dangerous threats in the metagame, countering Jolteon is straightforward. This is both a weakness and a strength. It forces teams to include rock ground types like Golem or Rhydon just to deal with it. Even though Exeggutor is strong against most electrics, Jolteon can break through it with Pin Missile, making ground types the only true wall. This often leads to predictable switchings, which Jolteon's teammates can take advantage of. When building with Jolteon, you are playing to its strengths, mainly its speed. Most opposing sweepers aren't safe until Jolteon is dealt with. Jolteon also encourages aggressive time structures that capitalize on the force and predictable switches it creates. It's especially powerful when paired with strategies that lure or eliminate ground types, or when backed up by teammates that can punish them directly. Jolteon is a top-tier threat in the Pokécup metagame, but it requires smart planning and synergy to shine. With the right team and playstyle, it can tear through unprepared opponents, but without proper support, Jolteon can sometimes feel like dead weight. Chansey is a Pokémon that was initially overlooked at the start of the metagame, but it has since become a staple in competitive play. Enabling defensive strategies based on raw stats rather than typing is not a sitting duck offensively either. Chansey has a surprisingly dangerous and well-rounded kit in the Rentals format. Chansey runs Fire Blast and Thunder. With solid special stat, these moves make it very threatening, as very few Pokémon resist both, and those that do often fear the burn chance of Fire Blast, like the rock types. The real game changer though is Rest. While at first glance it might seem like a downgrade compared to instant recovery moves, in the Rentals format, healing options are very limited, making Chansey one of the best users of recovery. Rest also allows you to activate Sleep Clause, which hard counters Gengar, one of the biggest threats in the game. Finally, there is Minimize, infamous for a reason. While it can make Chansey untouchable in long battles, it's usually more used to PP stall in PP wars. Chansey's stats were adjusted in the Rentals format. It retains its role as the premier special wall, but now it's extremely frail on the physical side, which makes it vulnerable to physical coverage moves that are very common in the Rentals metagame. The best way to deal with Chansey is through offensive momentum. Many Pokémon carry strong normal type moves that can 2-hit KO it easily. Another effective way is to stall its PP, especially with Pokémon like Kadabra. Chansey, without Fire Blast for example, can't even touch the ground types. Rare picks like Dragon types or mixed attackers like Flareon can also break through Chansey. When building around Chansey, you will often need to cover its lack of physical defense. Gengar pairs exceptionally well thanks to its immunity to normal and fighting moves. You will also need something that can absorb earthquakes. Rather than sticking to the traditional fire, water, grass defensive course, Chansey teams benefit from more targeted defensive strategies, helping to check specific threats. Chansey can also act as a pseudo-fire or electric attacker thanks to its moveset. Chansey is one of the most annoying and resilient Pokémon to face in the Rentals metagame. In the right hands, it can be very hard to break, rewarding players who understand the metagame very well. That said, many Pokémon carry the tools to punish it, and is especially vulnerable when sleeping, even by the Pokémon it's meant to wall. Persian is one of the top sweepers in the Pokécup Rentals metagame, and a centralizing one in 6v6. Its blazing speed, combined with the consistent critical hits from Slash and great coverage, makes it an excellent sweeper and revenge killer that's very hard to switch into. The key moves for Persian are Slash, a stab move with a near guaranteed crit, and Bubble Beam, which provides perfect coverage against rock types that typically wall normal types. The only downside to this amazing moveset is that the slash fits crit rate caps Persian's damage, making it a bit predictable outside of the high crit chance in Gen 1. Persian's stats guarantee top-tier speed, outspeeding nearly the entire metagame, only needing to watch out for Pokémon like Jolteon. This also makes Persian faster than the other top sweeper, Kadabra, guaranteeing a KO with a slash. Its offensive stats aren't great on paper, but the high crit rate of slash and Bubble Beam 4 times effectiveness against rock ground types more than make for it. Defensively, Persian is frail, but it has just enough bulk to survive a hit, meaning most opponents need to survive 2 slashes to beat it 1v1. The only thing keeping Persian from dominating completely is the presence of ghost types like Haunter and Gengar, which become essential in 6v6 battles, where Persian is everywhere. Persian struggles to touch them, only having a chance if it lands a Mimic on the switch. Another option is to check it with bulky Pokémon that can survive its slashes and hit back, like Lapras. Paralysis from Pokémon like Exeggutor can also be a death sentence. Building with Persian is straightforward. You will need a solid team to cover for Persian's lack of defensive presence, and ideally you want to lure and eliminate Gengar to clear the path for Persian's sweep. Offensively, Kadabra is a fantastic partner that complements Persian by covering threats it can handle, forming a deadly combination. Overall, Persian is a great Pokémon that shapes the metagame by forcing ghost types into nearly every team. If left unchecked, it can wreak havoc, but well-prepared teams can deal with it, especially since Persian offers little defensive value. Articuno is one of the most frightening threats in the metagame. With excellent stats and a simple but highly effective moveset, it poses a serious challenge to any team not prepared for it. It excels as a powerful breaker and an enabler for offensive and hyper-offensive strategies. Articuno's main tools are Ice Beam and Substitute, and it's arguably the best user of Substitute in the entire format. Its natural bulk, combined with the threat of repeated Ice Beams, allows it to force switches and gradually wear down even its supposed counters. Ice Beam's high free chance of 10% and consistent power let Articuno outlast or even break through bulky water types, especially when behind a substitute. For additional coverage, Sky Attack provides a hard-hitting physical option. Despite requiring 2 turns, it pairs well with Substitute, forcing risky decisions for the opponent. Articuno has stellar stats across the board, with special nearly matching Kadabra, giving it both offensive presence and special tankiness. Its physical bulk is solid, its HP is also high, and its attack combined with Sky Attack give it some surprise physical threat potential. With speed in the mid-tier range, Articuno wants to outspeed top sweepers, but is fast than most walls. This makes it ideal for pivoting and punishing switches. Notably, it is one of the few Pokémon with all base stats above 100, a testament for its raw power. Countering Articuno is really difficult, unless specifically accounted for it in team planning. Repeated Ice Beams wear down most defensive answers, and even Pokémon like Starmie risk getting frozen. Bulky waters like Slowbro can be overwhelmed if they have already taken chip damage. The only reliable counter are Ice types, which are immune to freeze, Among them, Lapras stands out as the most consistent and effective answer, greatly resisting Ice Beam. Articuno fits best in aggressive teams, as it lacks defensive utility and struggles in reactive roles. It pairs very well with electric types, which draw ground types and creates opening for Articuno to sweep. In return, electric types help cover Articuno's few weaknesses. A standout partner is Starmie, forming a deadly offensive core. Together, they cover each other's weaknesses and apply relentless pressure on slower teams. In the right hands, Articuno can be absolutely devastating. Its power lies not just in stats, but in the ability to force bad switches, punish overextension, and freeze the opponent's momentum. It requires aggressive and predictive play, but when used properly, this majestic ice type can completely dominate. Enter one of the most feared Pokémon in PokéCup Rentals 6v6, Gengar. Its rise has been so spectacular that it's often considered the #1 draft pick in any tournament. With great speed, perfect coverage, powerful utility, and a rare ghost typing, Gengar fills a crucial role in stopping dominant traits like Persian, making it an invaluable asset in any serious team. Hypnosis is Gengar's signature move, and it's arguably the best user of it in the entire format. Its speed lets it safely attempt sleep against many foes who lack the means to punish it. Pair this with Thunderbolt and Nightshade for nearly perfect coverage, and Gengar becomes a nightmare to switch into. To top it off, Confuse Ray adds a layer of mind games, allowing Gengar to fish for hacks even after Sleep Clause is active, or when things get tight, keeping it dangerous in any situation. Gengar boasts excellent speed and special, letting it outspeed or trade with most of the format top traits. Even Kadabra has to watch out. Its biggest flaw is the frailty on the physical side, but this is partly compensated by its immunity to normal type moves, the most common physical attacks in the format. The only real threat comes from Earthquake, used by ground types, but Gengar is faster than all of them. Countering Gengar is incredibly difficult. A well-played Chansey is arguably the only hard counter. In most cases, your best bet is to sacrifice a Pokémon to sleep, then bring something like Kadabra that threatens it, with Psychic or Ground-type hits to hit it hard. Even then, Gengar can escape or twist the matchup with status and confusion. Gengar likes teammates that can cover Psychic and Ground-type moves. It has a strong synergy with Chansey, as Gengar can switch into normal and fighting type moves, and Chansey in return walls special attackers. Kadabra also forms a potent offensive duo with Gengar, working together as a dual special core that overwhelms slower teams that is not afraid of Persian. Special mention goes to Exeggutor, who can wall Psychic attacks and Earthquake alike. However, beware of paralyzing ground types too early. Doing so can backfire by preventing Gengar from safely putting them to sleep later. Gengar is a true menace, a game changer that can flip a losing matchup or push a close one in your favor. Its mere presence forces teams to run dedicated counters like Chansey or craft well-thought-out strategies, often involving sleep sacks or force trades. In the right hands, Gengar can dominate a game or force massive misplays, making it one of the most valuable Pokémon in the entire metagame. Kadabra is a dangerous and fast special sweeper, blessed with the Psychic typing, arguably one of the best in Gen 1 due to the lack of weaknesses. But Kadabra's value doesn't stop there. Thanks to its rare access to recover, it's also one of the best special walls in the Pokécup metagame. Kadabra's core moveset revolves around Psychic, its more reliable source of damage thanks to its power, accuracy, and 30% chance to lower the opponent's special stat, which in Gen 1 affects both special attack and special defense. Combined with recover, Kadabra can outlast many threats while slowly wearing them down. Its 17 critical hit chance in a stadium further increases the danger, letting Kadabra swing momentum fast. Kadabra also runs counter, enable clever mind games against physical normal types who fail to KO it. Even Dig has niche uses in PP wars. Kadabra boasts blazing speed, making it faster than most of the metagame. However, it has to watch out for faster physical attackers like Persian or Tauros, and can't afford to ignore Gengar's Hypnosis, despite generally winning that matchup. Its special stat is monstrous, even outclassing the legendary birds, making it a true special powerhouse. But its major weakness lies in its physical bulk. Even neutral, non-stat physical moves can pose a real threat. Countering Kadabra is no easy task. Even traditional checks like Chansey can fall to pressure over time, or lose in PP wars. Mirror matches are also common and often come down to luck or smarter recover usage. The most effective way to deal with Kadabra is Paralysis, which neutralizes its speed advantage and opens the door to physical revenge killers. Exeggutor is a top counter, resisting Psychic while being able to paralyze it. Persian also plays a key role here, outspeeding and threatening Kadabra with Slash. Kadabra is incredibly flexible in team building, offering a powerful offense and a special defense present in one slot. It adapts well to many matchups and appreciates teammates that can soak up physical damage, like Gengar, who is immune to normal types. Pairs like Persian plus Kadabra form a devastating core that applies pressure from both physical and special angles. Without a doubt, one of the best Pokémon in the Pokécup Rentals format. It's a game changer that can turn the tide in an instant, and any team not prepared to face it risks a fast and brutal sweep.